Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show presented by Mel Hambelton Ford. Hey, yeah, we're a little late this morning as I always got tied up in the sales meeting and didn't realize what time it was. So here we go. 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. We want to hear from you and answer your questions. And as always, Josh, what's in that package for each and every caller?
So we're going to send it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hambelton Ford. While we're doing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on the vehicle, checking over everything, making sure that vehicle's safe and ready to go for the next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll also receive yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil and CF5 for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673. That comes right into the front desk here at the dealership, and just tell the girls you want to get passed into the podcast and anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, anything in the automobile world, anything in racing, whatever it might be you want to hear, or you just got a question about something on the new products or something coming down the road. Love to hear from you. 316-462-3673. So anyway, everybody, sorry we're running late this morning. It's my fault. I was up in the sales meeting this morning and it had a lot of questions from the salespeople this morning on different things and stuff like that too. So anyway,
yeah, apologize about that, but tell you what, to make up for it, we'll quit a little early too. How about that?
Okay, no. Sounds good to me, baby. No, that's good. So anyway, Delbert, finally, after I get it, Delbert, it's okay. You were finally having a convulsion waiting on us to get on. I know, I get it.
So I was down, you're talking about sales meeting this morning and stuff, and I was down at the Quick Lane this morning and visiting with a couple of customers, and actually the conversation came up twice. I was kind of shocked about it, but Maverick, everybody's asking about the Maverick and what's going on there. I'm assuming that's probably some of what you were talking about up in the sales meeting. So, I think that's become a very popular or desirable product for sure.
Yeah, and it's I got opinions, and then I'll keep some of them to myself a little bit.
Yeah.
But here's what's happened on Maverick is the order bank is going to open up here. They're telling us the 17th on the 24 model year. I've got my number, how many they're supposed to give me for that. And I've already raised all kinds of questions with Ford and can't understand why that number is where it's at because it's crazy. The biggest change for 24 is that they went and made the 2.0 motor the standard motor instead of the hybrid. Yes, Delbert, I'm with you 100%. And for the 23 model year, they made 35% hybrids and 65% the 2.0 motors. And I know the hybrid is what everybody wants. And they switched it this in 24. It is now the 2.0 is standard instead of the hybrid. So the hybrid is optional. So what they're probably going to do is charge more for the hybrid because that's what everybody wants. I know that's what's going to happen. Haven't seen the pricing. I know there's going to be a price increase because it is what it is, but from that part. But anyway, I had 32 trucks not get built for 23 that are going to get to move to 24s. And I guess what? All 32 of them are hybrids. So it's going to be, as we open up the 24 order bank, it's probably going to be nothing but the 2.0 motors I'm going to be able to accept until I get those 32 orders scheduled and put into play from that part. So, and you're right, Josh, it is an incredible truck. It's very hot. Everybody wants one of those. And I think the biggest thing is like you said, Delbert, it's the hybrid. It's the 40 miles per gallon out of that truck.
In a pickup.
Yeah. And, and the 2.0 is no slouch either. I mean, I think it's rated at 25. But 25 to 40, it's a big, huge change from that part. So, and the next thing I'm frustrated with, just to be honest with you, frustrated as heck, is for 24, it's 65 and 35 again, 65 2.0 and 35% hybrid. And I don't understand why Ford by now hasn't got their act together to put enough emphasis in where the demand is for this truck and give us the hybrids.
Sure.
That's what everybody wants. Why can't you not by now have your act together and put it together? Anyway, I've raised enough stink with Ford, and I think I've got a gentleman coming next week out of the region to talk to him about this situation, so I can hear strict from him. What is it? Why can't you build these hybrids? Why is it from that part? We're building other things. The Mach-E. I mean, we've got slews of Mach-Es coming at us. So if you're ready to make some deals on a Mach-E, now's the time for that, because that's what's happening there on that side. So why can't we take some of the parts out of the Mach-Es that's battery powered and put that over in a hybrid? I don't know. I don't understand it from that part, but I guess, ooh, God dang, I'm about screwed up there, Josh. Okay. So anyway, that's the story on Maverick.
Well, and I think too, take even just the whole automotive industry out of the equation, but any industry that you're supplying a good to a consumer, there's got to be a fine line there where you're either have overproduction of something and you're devaluing the product that you have, or you don't have enough supply of something that you're not getting all these people taken care of. And
Mhm.
we're definitely on the side with that particular item, or I think a lot of our new products that we're not getting all the consumers taken care of. Because I think of all the people that have taken the initiative to place these orders and order the product, not even knowing really when they're going to receive it.
Yeah.
But how many consumers that were, if they were readily available on a lot, would be purchasing them? Or how many people are, waiting for them to become available on a lot because they want to see it, touch it, drive it, feel it, before they
Well,
make that commitment? That's a huge commitment.
and I'm Josh. I'm with you too. And most of those 32 trucks that I didn't get built for 23 were ordered back in September,
Yeah.
because that's when the order bank opened up again for the 23s, and that's when everybody came in as a slew of all those from that part. Very frustrated. I've talked to several of the Ford dealers with the situation, and everybody's just as frustrated as I am uh, with why they can't build more hybrids for the demand that everybody wants from that part. So I don't know. Hopefully this guy will come next week. We'll be able to get some answers and stuff like that too. So I don't know. It's like Super Duty. I mean, that demand of that truck is so crazy. Now they've got 2 plants building Super Duties, and the demand for that truck's crazy.
Yeah.
And the 24 order bank's supposed to open up somewhere mid this month too for the 24s. We'll start seeing those trucks, probably November, December, somewhere in that standpoint on the 24s. But I got some guys that ordered 22s that still don't have their 23s. So that's frustrating also from that part. But I know the supply chain is still messed up and everything else like that. And we're still fighting a lot of issues of other things and stuff too, because I feel that pain in a lot of other areas of the supply chain and stuff like that too. But it just gets frustrating. You want something, you want to have it, you want to have it now. You don't want to wait 6 months for it. And I get it. I get it 100%. And I'm doing the best that I can to try to keep everybody notified about where their orders are at
Yeah.
and stuff like that too. But it's just hard when these from that part. So, but anyway, so that's the story of Maverick. What other questions was flying down the quick lane this morning?
On the Maverick was the main one, but then aside from that, just those guys are hoofing it down there again this morning. We obviously we were closed on Monday and Tuesday, and everybody had a good break, from the grind for sure. But we've this week has been extremely busy and just trying to get caught back up and get everybody taken care of for the absence, on that side of it. So those guys were making things happen down there this morning for sure.
Yeah, it looked like the way when I drove by this morning, and so appreciate what those guys do down there and everything else like that from that part. But that's why the facility what it is and everything else too. So anyway, 316-462-3673. Love to hear from you this morning. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. And get you a great price package valued over $130 for each and every caller. So 316-462-3673.
So I was going to ask you something this week, and then it just got busy, and we never really had the opportunity or chance. I didn't bring it up, but did you happen to watch the NASCAR Chicago NASCAR street race?
Some
Or
of it
you
I
see
did,
it?
yes.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I was just going to get your opinion on kind of. So is NASCAR? I think is their 75th anniversary. Wasn't that kind of the tribute
Something like that, yeah. I don't.
to NASCAR? And so they did this street race in Chicago. And I don't know, from there, just the logistics of that, of what they had to put into
To put that up and set
to
it up.
put that up and set it up. I mean, I can't even phantom the barriers and the fence and, to block off those streets and what that did for the, the community or
Yeah.
the city of Chicago. I think is very cool. But the logistics of it just seems the amount of money that they had to spend on that thing to pull that off was kind of crazy. And then I think it was Australian driver or something, or
That won,
maybe
yeah.
that won it. And I'd never heard of that driver before. I didn't know if you had, or
no, never heard of him either. He Justin Marks, can't think of the name of the race teams now. They have put him in a car, but I watched the last probably 20 laps.
Yeah,
and he was in third place, but you could see he was coming.
he was going for it.
Yeah, and he's never driven a NASCAR, and he's never driven a car that heavy, and he's never driven one with that much horsepower either. I don't think from that standpoint either. But I thought it was a cool deal. I mean, I really did. I wish I could have sat and watched the whole race, but I had other things going on that day and stuff too. But years ago, I went to a IndyCar race in Denver, and it was in the city of Denver.
Yeah.
And that was cool. I mean, all those barriers you could, and again, the only thing negative as a person watching a race, when you're there, you just see that one little suction of it or whatever. So we kept moving around different places trying to, and that was the neat thing about it. I mean, you can go about anywhere in Denver and see that. So I don't know how it was in Chicago if you had certain seats or whatever, but I saw a lot of videos of people that were there and did that kind of thing and stuff too, from watching the races and all that kind of stuff. But that last 10 laps was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude was coming. And then we had a couple yellows and stuff like that too. And the 31 car, he led it there for quite a while. I can't think of that kid's name now, but he was pretty down and out. He didn't win it. But I tell you, when you take a guy that's been used to driving that kind of a racing series or whatever, can really know how to handle it. I mean, yeah, he come through there, and I think it was 20 to go, and he was like 3 seconds behind, but his lap times were coming. And I said,
coming on
hang
strong,
on, boys, it's going to be over.
Well, and I just think of the logistics of the car, because that is uncommon for NASCAR, obviously. Is that they're designed, the car kind of does one thing. But I think of all the research and development and stuff that they put in those cars to do their typical Sunday show, if you will, and then to now turn around and change the whole dynamics of how that car is set up.
Yeah, well, I think the next thing is it rained, so it kind of rain delayed it and everything else too. I can't remember. I think they might have even shortened the race a little bit because it was going to run out of daylight. So that put a factor into play, because I think at first they started out on rain tires.
Yeah.
And then they had to switch back over to the slicks and stuff like that too. But
well, and even towards the end, the track was still, you could see spots of it that was still damp. So I did not get to watch the whole race of it, but I just think of all the research and development of what they try to get those cars to typically do, and how much they had to go back and go to the drawing board and kind of change it around. And
I love to see what kind of setups they did. Hannah Bradley says Nashville, Tennessee has an Indy racing on the streets in August this year. Why? I mean, I think he says, why don't Wichita have the same thing like this on Douglas? Well, I think they've kind of had it sometimes like that on Douglas. But
it's a lot less sanctioned, but
but I do think that was cool. I mean, when I went to Denver and watched the IndyCars race years ago, I mean, it was a blast.
I've never been to an IndyCar race, but I've always thought just taking an IndyCar down 96 highway one time would just just be an absolute blast.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that too. But and you think about all the logistics, all the liabilities, all the stuff they had to go through there in Chicago to put that race on. I wonder when it started getting planned to be done, but I would almost say 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, at least. I mean, I just think of the insurance policy that one would have to buy for something like that.
Well, that, and then the who pays that?
Yeah.
And what insurance companies, what are they going to cover and not cover too?
Hey, let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Delbert. Delbert, you're on Live with Under the Hood. How are you this morning?
I'm good, guys. Glad to see you finally made it in.
That's my fault.
That's all right. Well, good. We're just giving you a hard time.
I get it.
So, you guys kind of light up when you talk about racing and all that stuff. It's kind of fun to watch. But, some of the things that you talk about with the hybrids, I mean, can they not build more than one hybrid? I mean, what do we have now? Just the Maverick is all we have for hybrid in Fords, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I guess you got the power boost in the F-150,
which is a hybrid,
which is a hybrid.
Explorer's got one too. Escape has one too.
But what about the Escape's a small car anymore.
Yeah.
But the Edge, what about the Edge? Why don't they think about doing the Edge? That's
I don't know what's
seller, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened with the Edge, because they said 23 was going to be the last model year for the Edge, and now we're still building for 24. So I don't know what's happening with that side of the coin. from that part.
That's
but I'm
probably
with you.
because they're selling like hotcakes still, aren't they?
You know, they're doing okay. I mean, I have very few sitting
Yeah.
on the lot, and they come in, they leave, and everything else too. But I think also what it amounts to is the Edge needs to get updated to get into the newest technology, the newest safeties equipment we have, and then also the newest powertrains that we have out there too. I mean, the powertrains are it's no slouch at what they've got, but you know, for the new cafe ratings and stuff like that, they've got to upgrade. It's kind of why the Fusion kind of went away, was they needed to go do a major update to that car, and it wasn't worth the amount of money, the billions of dollars it takes to invest to upgrade it. And I think that's what happened to the Edge, but I think they can just slide it in another year is what's happening before they can, you know, get enough of these other hybrids. And that's my whole thing is I'm a hybrid believer. I really think that's
I am too. I think that's the way to go right now until they get all these supply chain issues gone and be able to get manufacturers to make batteries and all that stuff for all these different manufacturers that build these electric and hybrid cars.
Yeah,
but you know, Ford did make a one for the Japanese market. It's called the Mondeo.
Yeah,
it's a Ford Fusion update, and if you haven't seen the video on that thing, is huge, is awesome. I mean, the electronics they put into that thing is just really amazing. It really updated that car. So too bad they couldn't have done that here in the States, and I'm sure there's probably good reason for that.
Yeah,
EPAs and all that.
Who knows what they look at? Yeah, I'm with you there too. But I'm sure the safety standards are a lot less over there than what they are here, or whatever, or the emissions are less, or something. Why that car can't come to the States from that standpoint. It's kind of like when the Focus went away, and we're supposed to have what they call the Active, and they were going to bring it to the States, and it never made it. I mean, it's still over. I think. Don't quote me on this. I'd have to look this up for sure, but I think it's over in Australia is where it's at. But getting it over here and shipping it over here and all that kind of stuff, and it never made it from that part, which we miss a small sedan like that, in my opinion, in the Ford lineup drastically.
We do, because I mean, one thing I noticed about I had the Ford Escape to 2019, and I went to this 2020 Ford Fusion, and the big things you don't think about when you go and change like that is like the rear window, the little wiper on the rear window. I miss that.
Yeah.
You're not going to put it on a car, obviously, but still, I kind of miss that. It'd be kind of cool to have something like that on there. You know, otherwise you got to turn the defroster on and hope it works well, or get out the car and wipe the window down before you get going, and then it just never stays clean after that because of the rain always hitting in that.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm
and
with
then
you.
Of course the space you get.
Yeah, the space of an SUV.
Yep. That's another thing I miss. But when they in my opinion, downsized the Escape, they lost me on that one. That's why I went with the Fusion versus that new Escape that they have.
And Escape.
I know some people tried to tell me it was bigger. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, the Escape is a great seller for us too. I mean, we don't have much of those sitting on the ground. As soon as they get here, they're pretty much gone and everything else too. So everybody's got a different niche of what they want and everything else too.
Yeah,
I just think we need
and I'm surprised they didn't make it hybrid as well.
Well, there is a hybrid in the Escape. There is.
Is there one? I just haven't seen one, I guess.
Yeah, they're few and far between. That's for sure. From that part, the 23 Escape was.
I mean, because I'm going to need a car here in another year, so I'm thinking, if they don't come out with something that I can use, then I'm going to have to go with Toyota. Unfortunately,
I could see him in a Bronco Sport, but
yeah, that's what you need is a Bronco Sport, Dilbert.
Yeah, I do. My daughter actually has one. She bought here. When I was at your dealership getting my oil changed last time. I found a green one because she's a green lover. You had a green one there, and I sent her a picture, and she was at the dealership here, and they had one, and she actually bought it that day.
Yeah, well, I get it. I get that.
Just because it was there, it was the same exact model. There's no differences in it, but I could tell. So,
no, I get that too. But I think there's some. I'm
even looking at it for the wife. She's got the 18 Escape all-wheel drive, but that Bronco Sport's pretty cool, and it's comfortable to drive.
Yeah, I mean that's another one that's selling very well is a Bronco Sport and stuff too. I'm surprised they don't have a hybrid in that yet, but I'd almost bet you that it's coming.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, with the Maverick out there, I can see them just making that a hybrid as well.
So I don't know. I
Which would be cool.
I don't know why they can't build more Maverick hybrids is what I don't understand. I don't know if it's still just a supply chain they can't get it, or the parts they need or whatever, or what part is it they can't get to build that Maverick. It might be one simple part. Who knows with why it's the way it is of a 65 in the percent of the 2.0 gas motor versus 35% hybrid. I don't know what that. I asked a
Well,
lot of
hopefully
questions.
you can get some answers when you talk to that gentleman.
Well, I
So,
hope so when he
you know,
gets there
get all
next
the
week and
answers going.
figure that out too. So, but
Yeah, ask him about all the other stuff maybe coming down the pike he might know about. Who knows?
well, I hope he
That they're
knows
just
something.
not passing on.
I just hope he knows something so we can. My thing is to go back and relay it to you as a consumer to let you know what is coming and be planning for things and stuff like that. And I think we have to do that today. I mean, it used to be the manufacturer would hide their new products and you'll be able to surprise the competition on what's going on. But today, this internet has changed us drastically, and the YouTube has changed. Everybody can get everything on the internet and go find it now.
And drones have changed it too, because they can sneak up on them with drones and find all that information out about the newer vehicles coming out at the test track. So
yep, that's exactly correct. So
the only way to get away from that is to really enclose the test track somehow. But that would be an expense that nobody's going to be willing to take on.
But it would just be nice to know what's coming down the pike and be able to be upfront with people and everything else too, and then to be able to tell these Maverick owners that orders we got in here and these Super Duties and stuff like that too. And I get that there's parts that we can't get and there's stuff like that too, but it's just like the other day. I've got some Broncos setting up there at Dearborn that they haven't shipped, and I can't figure out why. So I figured it was chips again or whatever. And come to find out, the owner's manual was written wrong. So they're having to rewrite the owner's manuals and get them reprinted for they're going to ship those Broncos. Hold on a minute. We got so many cars already that the owner's manuals are on the dash. Okay.
How about we electronic form? Forget it.
How about you send us the Bronco when you get your owner's manual reprinted correctly? We'll mail that out to the customers and give it to them. So that's frustrating.
Yeah,
too.
that's a good idea
vehicle
too.
That's traded in 12 years later, and the owner's manual spine is still perfectly intact and wrapped in plastic.
Not even touched it. Exactly. So.
Yeah, I know that, and that's something that people like to do, just to have that in their vehicle when they go to sell it sometime down in the future. And so, but I think with all the electronics in these vehicles, they could put it on the dashboard as an electronic portion and have a free download available. So you can put it in your home and have it there as well.
Yeah. Yep. Agree 100%.
I mean, like when you do your updates on your sync system, as long as you're close enough to Wi-Fi, you can get it to update that way. To a certain point, I know Josh is going to pipe in here and say there are some updates that can't be done.
And that's true. The simple updates can be done, and I'm glad there's some of those updates getting done. And Delbert, there used to be a joke around this place that car wasn't working right. And all I would say is, hey, let's put some updates in. And these guys laughed at me and all that kind of stuff. I hate to tell you how many times now an update does fix a car. So
that's very true. I mean, they've come up, well, that's not working.
I think they had a tally back on the wall.
So
the
years ago, it started out as a PCM. Put a PCM in it, and I believe that there was a tally at somewhere, but then that moved from PCM to updates when they started being able to. But in his defense, now I will agree with that a lot.
It is crazy how much. It's just like the other day.
As a consumer, I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your Saturdays to come in here and do this show and make it something nice for people to have the ability to get on here and ask questions for. A lot of people don't understand what Phil and Josh have to go through on a daily basis to keep customers happy and the heartache they have to listen to sometimes about people that probably didn't do their scheduled maintenance or didn't do their something started acting up. Now they'll drive a little bit longer until it breaks, and then something else broke and made it more expensive to fix. So,
Delbert,
a lot of people don't understand cars are very expensive to fix these days.
And Delbert, you're exactly correct 100% on that part of the statements you made there and stuff too. And I will tell you the other thing, Josh and I and a few of our people down at Big Corner Creative, we've been talking about what else can we do to this show to make it fun, better, more informative, all that kind of stuff. And we've got a lot of ideas. We don't know if it's right, wrong, or indifferent or whatever too. So if someone would like to put something down over in the comments and tell us what you would like to see different on the show or whatever, love to know that. Love to know what a topic you'd rather hear from or some ways you'd like to see the show better or whatever. Love to hear from you and love to know your comments and stuff too, because we're kicking it around too. What can we do to keep making the show more fun? And that sort of thing. What information would you like to hear more about in the automobile business, racing business, whatever it might be? Or what you'd like to see on the show. Love to hear from you. Put it down in the comment show. And you know what? For every one of those comments that you put out there of an idea or a better of the show, we're going to send you the package. How about that, Josh? So
works for me.
That's excellent, you guys. That's awesome. Maybe get some good comments coming in.
Looks like Delbert's got a package
and,
coming already.
maybe
more hybrids.
Oh, you guys don't have to worry about that. I got plenty I haven't used yet. So.
Okay.
Josh knows that. He's the one that sends them out. So
Yeah.
Save the stamp.
Save the stamp
today.
Yeah. Well, okay,
I'll
Delbert.
call you in when I actually need something and get that.
There
that?
you go.
There you go, buddy. Well, Delbert, thanks for calling as always, and thanks for the comments and everything else. Really appreciate it, buddy. Have a great Saturday. And how's the weather in Oklahoma? Looks like it's going to rain here. Here's sun shining down there.
It's going to rain here this afternoon, but right now it's just going to be hot and humid. So same old story, hot and humid.
Yeah,
but it's going to be cooler than most days. But you guys just have a great day, and everybody like, share, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Facebook, share it. Let this get the word out. They want to get more things going on the show, make it a better show. So not that it's a bad show, because it's a really good show. I really enjoy it. So you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you again next time.
Thanks, buddy. Have a great weekend, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Sorry, we got another caller coming in. I'm sorry, Josh. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll get Colin patched through here and see what Colin's got going on for his Saturday. And then I don't know. I was going to ask him what his thoughts were on that race too in Chicago that happened up there. I just still go back to the logistics of what it took to make that thing happen is absolutely crazy. So, but we'll go back to the phones. We'll talk to Colin. Colin, you're on live with Under the Hood. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. I love your show. I've been listening to it for years.
Hey, thanks.
This is probably a little out in the left field here, but I was noticing the other day, when you go through a drive-through restaurant and you have to sit and wait as you drive around, I've noticed more than one time where people will just shut their cars off and wait, then turn back on, then drive forward, and then shut their cars and wait. And I didn't know, is that good on gas? Is that good on the engine? I mean, I just thought that was kind of bizarre.
Yeah, there's a lot of that topic or discussion out that you can read on the internet. In my opinion, you're doing more harm to the vehicle than you are good. For one, I mean, I can think of so many reasons. One, for the what maybe you would be saving on fuel economy, your wear and tear on the starter, that vehicle cooling back off and then getting back up to operating temperature. If you shut it off, when you shut that thing off, if your cooling fans are running and then you shut the vehicle off, that vehicle is still warm, but then when you shut it off, you're shutting the cooling fans off to where it's not able to cool that vehicle down. The one exception I would say to that is you get into the newer technology with these vehicles, and a lot of them have the auto start. To where when you pull up to a stop sign, it does shut the vehicle off and it will start it back up when you take back off. In those situations or scenarios, those vehicles are equipped with, different batteries, different starters. That computer is monitoring so many data points of the vehicle and operating procedure to know what's the right thing to do. But if you're just physically shutting it off and starting it back up, I just don't. For what you're saving in fuel, it's not worth it, in my opinion. I don't know.
That's what I thought. Thank you. That's what I thought. Turning it on, it can't be good on the starter. And let alone, like you said, are you really saving gas?
Yeah. I just the minuscule amount that you would be saving on fuel, I just don't think that it's worth the wear and tear on the other components for sure.
Well, that's what I thought. Thank you, sir. I kind of figured that, but I thought I'd better ask the expert. So.
Perfect. Great question, Colin. Thanks for calling in.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, really sorry you asked me to comment there, Josh, but I've been answering a couple texts coming through, and I got a couple coming through. Greg Murray, I would like to see more product features and spotlight on different vehicles. There are a lot of new things on vehicles that people aren't aware of. Very good, Greg. I appreciate that. Dan Wicks, talk more about new cars and trucks coming in. Okay, gotcha. So keep the comments coming. We'd love to hear from you. Greg and Dan, so far you're going to have the package sent out to you, so we just need to what can we do? What would you love to see on the show to keep it more entertaining? More things you'd love to hear from, all that kind of stuff. We'd love to know because, like, again, we've been kicking it around here too a lot about what to do on the show, how to make it better, and everything else too. We've got a lot of ideas ourselves, but would love to hear from our listeners and watchers what you'd like to see and hear differently too. So, on Colin's question was shutting it off. He doesn't have the auto start.
No, so he was just talking about vehicles in a long line or at a drive-through. If you see some people that have a tendency to shut the vehicle off, wait, then start it up, move up a little bit, shut it off, wait, and whether it's better to do that or better to just leave the vehicle run the entire duration of that line.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get to another thing here that I've got. I want to talk about that auto stop and shut off, but Brooke Murray comes back. I think going back in time compared to what's offered today on vehicles, like a 30-second snippet for these youngsters that don't know what it's like to have navigation, automatic windows, etc. Just a trip down memory lane for us oldies, and that's exactly. I still remember the day. Here's just a couple years ago when my niece's nephew jumped in a car and it had the crank windows, and they go, "What's that? What's that?" They had no idea what it was. The crank windows. That's all I grew up with was crank windows. So yeah, Brooke, great point, great comment, and everything else too.
You got one for that. I went for a ride with a customer the other day. We were fighting a vehicle with a vibration and hopped in the back. I hopped in the back. They were riding up front, and there was an atlas tucked in the back of the seat pocket behind the driver's seat. And I don't know how many people, of a certain age or generation would even know how to read that, let alone, I mean, I can think of.
I still remember my dad having all those maps stuffed in the glove box we dig out. And I remember stopping pulling on the side of the road and putting it out on the hood, trying to remember where we're going to go. How did we used to do that?
Yeah, I can remember on a family trip I think we went to Charleston and coming back or something, and Dad was sleeping and Mom was driving, and we ended up halfway to Colorado before he woke up and said, "Hey, this ain't where we're supposed to be going."
That's like a Tommy boy says, "Get a new map." No, I'm going to Davenport. No, get a new map. Oh, you're on the wrong map. But yeah, and it's true. And Jake was laughing at me the other day because I get in my car and the phone hooks up to Apple CarPlay, and the first thing pops up: you going home, going to work. I just hit it. Why not? I want to see I want to see the ETA for some reason. I just do.
Really?
I don't know why I do, but every time I do it. But it's like last night coming back from the race and stuff. I did the same thing. Hit it home. I know what time I'm going to get home, so I'm planning in my head what's going to happen. But Brooke, you're exactly correct. Backup cameras. That's another one.
Oh yeah. I mean, now
controls.
You can't even sell a vehicle now without a backup camera.
Yeah. Cruise control. I remember when my whole family of 7 went to Six Flags over Texas, and there was 7 of us in a 4-door sedan. My dad built a shelf back there in the back seat so we could hang out and everything. Had no cruise control. I remember him driving with the left foot because his right foot got tired going down the road. He was driving with his left foot on the accelerator. So yeah, that's Brooke. We get. I don't know how long we talked on that stuff
for quite a while. That's for sure.
Yeah. Larry Frederick. Hey Josh. Larry here. Did you get my address correct for the coupon mailing? So
Larry, we've sent that coupon out twice to you, and I've sent 2 coupons out to the correct address, and we've not received it back or anything like that. So what I had Sydney call you or reach out to you, and what I'm just gonna keep it here in the store, so it's here for you to use. Come on in, and we'll have it here for you to use. With that one, like I said, I've sent two packages out to that same address there, so we'll have it here for you to use.
Okay, and Dan Wicks, a lot of people don't know how to use navigation. Hey, that's true too, Dan. I get it. Now they've got them where you can talk to it and speak to it and everything else too. But I'm going to show you another trick that happened to me that I didn't know did it either. And I remember years ago, I was trying to help a lady with her navigation, and it did, but I could never figure out how to do it. She was going to make a trip, but she wanted to stop a couple different places that the nav wasn't going to take her. They call it waypoints. I could never figure out how to get that set up. I fought it and fought it and fought it. It wouldn't work. I'm sure So yesterday, we're going to Salina to race, and I need to go pick up Nick Baldwin at his house. And it picked up because it has on my calendar, I'm going to Salina. So the CarPlay popped up, said, "Hey, you going to Salina Speedway?" Yeah, I'm going there. Click. So then all of a sudden I realized, hey, I text Nick. I said, "Hey, send me your home address again. I know about where you live, but I want to make sure I don't miss turns or whatever." So I went in and plugged in his deal and said, "Hey, do you want to add this as a stop?" Sure do. And guess what? It took me to Nick's house, then it took me to Salina Speedway. Bing, bang, boom. So very easy, very stuff that I used to fight. So yeah, I would love to go down memory lane a little bit with that kind of stuff. But And Keith needs an oil change on his Bronco. Okay, we'll get you on the list, Dan. We'll get you the first of the week and get you over here and get Keith's car taken care of. So anyway, keep the comments coming. So far we've got a few people who are going to get some the oil change packages for making the comments stuff. Just love to hear from you. What you'd love to see different on the show and everything else too from that part. So 316-462-3673 if you want to talk to us. Love to hear from you. Still get the price package for the phone call too.
Yep, for
So
sure.
anyway, back to the auto stop that Colin called in about. And a lot of people don't realize what that auto stop's doing. I remember when it first came out, everybody's freaking out and what it's going to, hurt the starter, hurt the battery, all that kind of stuff. And basically, when they put the auto stop on those cars, they put a better starter and a better battery in them to make that work. But the reason it's really truly there is the CAFE rating, which is a corporate average fuel economy that the manufacturers have to hit. The government sets this stupid high standard for them to hit. If they put the auto stop on these cars, it gave them points towards that CAFE rating. Now, is it saving a lot of fuel setting the stoplights? Don't think so. But if you're in a busy, compacted metro area and you got 30 cars sitting there at one time, sitting at that stoplight, and they all shut off, yeah, is it going to cut down the emissions? Sure it is. Is it going to save a lot of fuel? No. But it's going to save some. But that's why the auto stop is there. Now, I hated it at first, but guess what? I kind of get used to it. Now, the way they work, you can hardly tell when they shut off. You can hardly tell when they start anymore. But before it was kind of a herky-jerky shut off and a herky-jerky start. But today you can't tell it. I mean, to me, I can't tell it.
Well, and I think it's across so many manufacturers too that it's just become more and more common. And again, everybody's advanced their technology to just make it integrate much better without filling it for sure.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, so that's the whole story on auto stop is why it's there. Why do we have it? Why do we need it? And when this chip thing kind of hit, they started taking it out of cars, and I don't know what that did to their CAFE ratings. I don't know if the government relaxed on some of this or whatever part. I don't know. I don't know. And the Bronco does great on fuel. Yeah, the Bronco Sports, they are very, very fuel efficient. I would love to see a hybrid put in one of those. It'd probably be a 45 mile a gallon deal for them instead of that Maverick being 40 or whatever. But for that part, but there's got to be some reason they can't build more hybrids. There's got to be some part supply or something they can't get what they need or whatever to make those happen from that part. I'm not sure what from that part, but I guess we'll find out shortly down the road, hopefully next week. So anyway, Josh, as we get more comments coming in, we'll make sure we get these people their packages out and stuff too for making their comments of what we can do to make the show better. What can we do to make the show more interesting? And what would you like to hear about? What would you like to learn about for us so we can put things in a perspective for you and that sort of stuff too. So anyway, Josh, anything else happen exciting? Last week we had some interesting pictures of vehicles coming in for the recalls that were very dangerous to be out on our roads today, but they're still driving down the road. So
it's definitely been a very busy week this week for sure, and it's been unseasonably too, as far as a lot of rain and then, typically this time of year, and we've had quite a bit of AC concerns or complaints, but with as wet as it's been, I mean, it seems like it's either 100 or rain here the last couple of days for sure.
Yep. Exactly. So anyway, so keep the comments coming. If anybody else got anything else you'd love to hear about or want to see on the show or whatever, love to hear from you on that part. We'll get you a great price package just for your comment to that, because we've had a lot of discussions around here how to keep improving the show, do things with the show and all that stuff too. So anyway, Josh, we're kind of running out of time here a little bit. It's started a little late. Like you said, we're going to stop it a little early too.
Call it a little soon.
So trying to think if there's anything else we need to cover, talk about. We talked about the Maverick, talked about Super Duties, we talked about hybrids, we talked about all kinds of stuff this morning. So anyway, we need to thank our sponsors that help us keep this show going each and every week, which is Big Corner Creative for all your advertising needs. Hey, if you need anything to advertise your business, Jesse's got a great team of people down there that can help you with traditional advertising, Google advertising, web page design, vehicle wraps, window tint, race car wraps, whatever it is to help advertise your business. They're down there to help you with all your advertising needs. As they say, just Google us. Go to rent right inside here, Mel Hambelton. Hey, we finally got a great inventory back over there finally with for stands. So if you're looking for something for a 12 or 15 passenger van, Expedition, Explorer, whatever it is you need to rent, don't want to put the miles on your car, or your car doesn't want to go that far, whatever, he's got a great fleet of vehicles over there for you right inside here at Mel Hambelton to help you with all your rental needs. And Josh, I went back there the other day and I needed a 12 passenger van. He's gone. They were out.
Yeah.
Out. So And that's the one thing right now, Ford Transits are hard to get, and especially the passenger ones are hard to get through Ford. And I had an Enterprise guy here the other day, and they used to roll their cars at 30,000. They're rolling them now at 60, 70, 80, and even 90,000 miles before they're rolling their cars out, just because they can't get the product either from their manufacturers. And not just Ford, it's all their manufacturers from that part. So feel blessed to have the amount of cars we have over there in our rental fleet. So if you're looking for something to rent or from that part, I'd love to help you with that part too.
And then BG products.
BG products. Yeah. And, we had an interesting week this week. They want to come over and do some different tests, some longer tests. And it's really hard right now. And I just told them, I said, guys, if they want to take it for 3 weeks.
So
they can put a bunch of miles on it and really do a longer longevity test than what they've been doing on some of these cars. And I told my son, I'm game, but if I sell it, you got to get it back because of the supply and demand we've got for our used cars and everything else too. But I love them doing that. They're going out there, they take their products, they do a dyno and a road test on these cars and show what the car is like. Then they run their products through there, and they actually take borescopes, go down, look inside the engines and stuff like that, and then run tests again, and then put it back on the dyno and show all the improvements that their products make and stuff too. And I get they've got to have it for 3 weeks to be able to get some miles on it and be able to show exactly how much those products are improving it. And again, they're just constantly trying to improve their game too, from that standpoint too. So all their products they have, their BG products are great. They're not snake oil. They're not technician in a can, but they are mainly working on preventative maintenance and making your car run many, many more miles. And just excited to be partnered with those guys and excited to give the cars they have and everything else like that. Plus, you're just a great group of guys over there that love working with you and stuff like that too, and everything from that part. So BG Products, if you want to keep your car running many, many more miles, make sure you talk to one of our service advisors and let them help guide you down the right path to put you the right products in your car for your driving habits. Because Josh and I, me and Josh have this problem called WFO, wide open, is what we kind of have. So anyway, everybody drives different and everything else like that. So you need to set up a maintenance schedule that works best for your car and how long you're going to keep it and everything else from that part. So anything else, that closing thoughts, anything at all, Josh, anything whatsoever?
Let us, if you need that service or that multi-point inspection, we're here to take care of you for sure.
Okay, everybody, thanks for your comments out there. We will get you your packages sent out for what you want to see differently on the show. So think about that for next week. We'll do the same thing next week. So think about what you'd like to hear, see, or different on the show, or what you'd like us to do different. Even time, if you want a different time, I'd love to hear anything you have an idea that would make your show better from that part, because we want to continue to make this show great. We've been doing this show. I got to remember, Josh, I think it was, God, I can't remember what year I started this thing.
I want to say like 07, but maybe it was before then, like 04 maybe.
Because we came over here in 08.
Yeah, that's true too.
So I'm thinking it's 02 or 3, somewhere in there was when we started this show. I got it written down somewhere or whatever, but we've changed the show drastically since then and everything else too from that part. So anyway, everybody think about what you'd like to hear different on the show or see differently or want it differently. We'd love to hear from you. And everybody have a great Saturday. Enjoy your holiday. Holiday weekend's over, isn't it?
It is.
It's still kind of the holiday, isn't it, right? The 4th of July. So anyway, everybody have a great Saturday, and we will talk to you next Saturday, 9 o'clock.